So have you ever wanted to make a fusion of your Animal Crossing character and the unicorn from Despicable Me, but as you're doing it, you're watching way too much Soul and getting heavily inspired by 22? Well, in this episode of Alicia Makes Toys, we do just that. And I'm here to show you how to make a unicorn and friends. So let's get started. So first, print out your designs to scale, and then you can start balling up some aluminum foil. So for this, we're actually going to start with the unicorn first, so make sure it's around the size of the unicorn body, but a little smaller. And then you can wrap it with some clay. Here I use some super sculpey clay in the color beige, but it doesn't actually matter for this step. And then once you cover it and get the size that you want for the unicorn body, poke some holes in it so that it has an easier time baking, so there's no bubbles. And then you bake. And after you bake, you actually want to start wrapping it with some white clay. I'm using white Primo Sculpey clay. And then you just blend it in until smooth. I added a little extra clay so I can define the snout of the unicorn a little bit more. And I blend it in with a silicone tool and my thumbs until I just felt like it was a good shape and size. I then take a snake of clay and I coil it up to make the unicorn horn. And then I place it onto the unicorn's head. And also ignore the eyes, I'll show you later how to do it. And then I take a small round cookie cutter to cut out the ears of the unicorn. I then blend down one side of the ear so that's easier to blend later into the unicorn. I take a round ball stylus to make the inside of the ear. I then pinch the ear down together to make it more ear shaped. And then I blend it in. I then take a cylinder and cut it in half so I can have front and back legs. Then I cut it in half again so I can have symmetrical front legs. Then I blend in one side so it's easier to blend into the unicorn afterwards. And then blend away until it's smooth. And then do the same thing for the back legs of the unicorn. I also take a silicone tool to blend in hard to reach places. I also add a little extra clay to the snout so I can just add a little bit more definition. And then I blend the snout into the unicorn. And this is actually how I made the final eyes. I take a metal ball stylus tools to make indents, and then I take round pieces of clay to then put the eyes in. I think this creates a better effect overall. And then I brush on a mixture of Sculpey Bacon Bond and clay softener, which kind of acts like glue to the new things we just added, and then I bake. I then wet sand the unicorn afterwards so it's a lot smoother. Now it's time to make the friend. I ball up some aluminum foil to make the head and the body of the friend. And always remember to make it a little bit smaller than your final design because you can always add. And then cover with some Sculpey clay. And then attach the head to the body using some Sculpey Bacon Bond and a toothpick to then skewer the body to the head. And then poke some holes in the back and bake. I then cover the friend's head in super Sculpey clay in beige. Then blend in until the desired shape and smoothness. And I think it's around here where I discovered I was really influenced by Soul and the character 22 instead of my original design. And then I take a small knife and I cut out the mouth of my character. I then use a silicone tool to kind of shape the mouth a little bit more. Then blend in with my fingers. And then I actually use a small ball stylus to just round it out a little bit more than that. And I take a small round ball to make a nose. And a small white piece of clay for the teeth. I then brush on some chalk pastels to have rosy cheeks. And then I bake. Now, take some white Sculpey Primo clay and put it around your figurine's head, kind of like a hoodie. Then trim away the excess Sculpey clay. Now, take some more of the clay and wrap it around your figurine. Now, take some cylinders where you press down on one side and attach it to your figurine to make the arms. And as usual, we'll want to blend that in, and I'm just using the silicone tool here. To form the horn for the figurine's hoodie, we'll actually do the same process we did for the unicorn. And then attach it to the hoodie. And then we'll actually do the same thing we did before to make the ears for the unicorn. And then doing the same thing as we did for the eyes before, we take a ball stylus to make some indents first. And then ball up some white clay to form the eyes. Now we take some small snakes of clay and we attach it to the hoodie to form the hair of the unicorn. And then we take some small balls of clay to form the buttons of the hoodie. And a small ball stylus to make the indents. And taking more balls of clay, we form the eyes. And then taking other snakes of clay, we form the hair on the unicorn. Again, make sure to use a mixture of Sculpey Baking Bond and clay softener so that everything attaches, and bake. Now it's time to paint. So I actually take some pink iridescent paint and start painting all the unicorn hairs pink. And then I painted the horns gold. I also added some gold to the buttons and to the nose of the unicorn as well. I also painted the hooves gold, and I did the same thing for the friend. I then painted the eyes with black paint, and I put a little bit of iridescent blue on top to make it pop. And then I filled in the mouth with a little bit of maroon, and then let it dry. I then airbrushed the figurines with a mixture of liquitex airbrush medium and matte varnish. And then let it dry again. And because we airbrush with matte varnish, we're able to draw on the figurines with some watercolor pencils. And of course, you don't need to do this. You could just paint on the nostrils for the unicorn, but I'm not that really great at freehand painting, so this is what I do. And then I go over it again with some acrylic paint so that it's a little bit darker. I also dot on some white for the eye catch lights. And then go in again with some chalk pastels to really bring out the cheeks. And then let it dry and actually airbrush it again to seal it in. And you're done! You have a unicorn in front, It looks almost nothing like what I drew initially, but it's still pretty cool. If you want more videos like this, feel free to subscribe. Otherwise, check me out at Alicia Makes Toys on my Instagram account. And thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all next time on Alicia Makes Toys.